A wonderful love greetings to all of you here for a new love oracle. And we're looking at your significant other, your darling, your counterpart, your desired partner. If he is in a relationship with someone else, or has contact with other people or someone else, who always your connection is blocked. So let's take a look. Will all come to an end? Is there a cut there? You might be asking yourself, where do you say yes? Where? Will this ever come to an end? Or will it just keep going on like this? Is there even a chance left? Will this all come to an end? We're viewing that. Dear ones, you know, we are tapping into the energy of the now, the most present energy that wants to show itself here for the collective. And in the collective, it's like this A. Collective life cannot apply to everyone. And I know you're taking all of this in. What is right for you, for your situation? What fits there? And you just leave everything else out. You are doing it wonderfully. And the person cards are gender neutral. You transform it, both male and female. What fits for you, for your situation? And now I hug you all very lovingly and tightly. You are all truly wonderful. I thank you all so much every single day because it really means a lot to me. Each and every one of you. I thank you all so much for your loyalty, for your comments, your warmth towards me, and also to everyone else here in the collective. And now I would say, let's go. So let's take a look. His or her current situation. Will be done at the end. Great. So let's do it that way. We are fanning out. Good. So we are definitely in the energy heading your way. And what is being shown here very clearly is the heart. The heart indeed clearly shows here that there is a heart connection with him. Don't be startled. We have just started. We have here. It's truly about a deep heart decision, a heart connection, and a profound connection. What is on his mind here? You know, we are in the energy towards him. And that's something that certainly keeps bringing you affection and this warmth and affection for something and a heart connection. What it exactly is, you know, we are about to get some clarity here. So, and then we have the flowers. And there we have the attention again. And that's also the case because something is going on inside him or her. What? He's preoccupied with something that has to do with a surprise. Maybe it's also about a visit, that there's something here. A visit, something is indeed a surprise. To what extent the surprise reveals itself. Take a look at this, please. It's absolutely fantastic. Now we also have the ring here again. So here it's definitely about connections. So I'm telling you very clearly that it's about connection here. Be it you have been in a relationship before, in a getting to know each other phase. Be it whether he or she is in a relationship, met someone else, or someone has always been interfering between the two of you. That's what's currently on his mind. That's a connection that has happened before. Something new that has happened between the two of you. So something lasting, this. Yes, even if he or she is in a relationship, already before you met each other, if they were already in this relationship, then the new thing is this connection to you. Here it's all about connections, very, very clearly, because your counterpart feels something too, something that touches their heart. As for the connection, the affection, the attraction, the closeness, and there's something inside him that's also on his mind. Yes, that has to do with an invitation, surprise, something. Definitely the harmony. And there's something beautiful about it. Did you ever surprise him? Or did you visit him on a whim? So visited, maybe he rejected you in that area. It could also be that it was on a Thursday, because Thursday is also somewhat highlighted. Then let's see what else comes up. Maybe there was something, or you sent him a message or something, and then suddenly there was some kind of touch. And no, wait, and a minute. I just have a small error in my system here. So let's do it that way. Definitely, touch is a very, very big point. Heart touch, heart decision. And he is definitely focused on himself. So this is about the person themselves. And it's also about stability, about this connection, about the closeness. Because something has been triggered in him. Because he wants that if he had it now, a relationship with someone else, I mean, if he has that or the contact and so on, then he wouldn't be missing it. Then he wouldn't even be dealing with it, because then he would have it. So there's something there. He's dealing with it because he doesn't have it. So we are definitely in that area that he's missing something here. And maybe it's also about past issues for him or for her. Past, maybe this sense of duty and this, okay, he has to somehow stay true to a responsibility, something, a commitment, maybe. And definitely a past issue. But again, as I said, if he now had all of that, the relationship with someone else, the connections with others, then he wouldn't be dealing with it. Then we wouldn't have any heartfelt connection here. Something that is going on inside him. Surprise, something. What he also wants, a strong attraction. It's very strong. Then he wouldn't have that. And this is clearly about relationships, about connections. And that's a really, really big issue for him or for her. And it's also about a partnership. Yes. So that also seems to be a topic. We have commitments here. We have the past. We have commitments, obligations that are being shown. Yes. And it's also the case that he's kind of going around in circles here. Maybe he has been going around in circles time. But now let's see what we can get deeper into here. But here, something is definitely coming to a close. And it could also be that this has always been the issue, that he couldn't let go of these entanglements or connections, relationships, couldn't let go of relationships the whole time. So let's see what else is shown here. What else is being shown? We'll just lay it over there. We'll just leave it there. I think they're so beautiful. Okay, then let's take a look. What if they see everything here? Oh, yes. That's starting off really well. So he really has a huge problem here. So your counterpart, connections, entanglements are definite. I'll tell you for sure, this is definitely about commitments, the past, anchors, this responsibility. Make up for something again. Always, always again. He's definitely not doing badly. I'll say this, after this laying down, he's doing really badly. Be it he has been in a relationship, in a connection with someone else, or is in this connection. Yes, and even if he has been in a relationship with someone before. This past in the relationship, that's what really left a significant mark on him here. And his environment really has a strong influence on him. It is so, and that's what is really not good for him anymore. Be it, as I said, that he is currently in a connection with someone else. It's definitely just out there. That's right, there is nothing. There is no harmony. There is no security. There is absolutely nothing there. So, collective, I always have to reach a bit more broadly here. Because on one hand, as I said, yes, a relationship is indicated. Okay, other people definitely. Please interpret this for yourself when you say, no, he is not in a relationship with someone else, or that he is married or something like that. Then there are definitely other people here that keep grabbing him, clawing at him, pulling him away, determining over him or over her. And that's been going on for a very long time. And that keeps happening in a constant loop over and over again, the whole thing. So, and then, is that the point where he has completely come to a standstill himself? Because he himself doesn't really know where he actually belongs. And with him, it's like this. He has withdrawn for himself. I have him totally tense, withdrawal, distant, lonely. And this loneliness is because he realizes that he actually has no support from anything or anyone. He or she definitely lacks the support, the connection, the closeness, the affection. Concerns him, worried. It occupies him quite intensely. And he really does have worries. When the link, if he will ever find happiness at all, ever find more happiness, and that's where something suddenly comes in here. Suddenly, unexpected, bam, it's there. It can only be a moment. And I also say that because we saw the surprise at the beginning, he also heard something that completely surprised him. That was woof, right? Bang. It comes in because something has really come up here. When a relationship is with someone else, as I said, man or woman, right? In a relationship, has something come up here too? That this person, namely that there is still someone else here, that someone else is still hanging around, or that something has happened there, something from the past comes up. What really opens his eyes now? Something he never wanted to see all this time. Then when we are now in that area, as for other people in his environment, that can now, mother, father, sister, brother, uncle, aunt, whatever it may be, friends. It's also like this. I see complete lies, deceit, and intrigues in his environment. Is she there? Always just for the benefit of others. Never for the benefit of the person opposite you. That's a big topic. And he will always, again and again, have honey smeared around his mouth. And then he kept letting himself get clawed at, and bam, all clear. That's fine. Because that's how I have him, as he has shown himself to you, Phil. And this, yeah, I'm here, I'm confident and so on, that's not him at all. When I look at that area, I actually see him being totally pushed down, is being belittled. He is being played with. And his psyche has been really heavily impacted here, really strong, because I have the entire burden on him. It's really a torment for him in the situation he's in. And it's like this, he's not doing well because he's already feeling it physically. Emotionally, physically, I have him completely burdened here. It's making him sick. I miss being able to tell you this. Yes, we have absolute joy of life. Yeah, he's doing well. Hey, pure happiness. No, not at all. If you have contact, you might notice it. Where you think, phew, he's doing well. But let's take a look into his eyes. Look into his eyes. You will see him very clearly in his eyes when you look into them. What's really going on inside? That he's sad. It could also be he looks away. He can't even look you in the eyes. Or when you're texting or on the phone, you'll feel it too. Because you have a lot of empathy and you really feel a lot. You are very sensitive. You will be very strong. The energies, you can notice it from him. It could also be that you're doing really well at the moment. Hey, great, all good. And in the next moment, from 1 second to the next, you're totally sad. You're sad, you're feeling lost, you don't know what to do anymore. It could also be that you feel a bit charged, irritated too. Or say, what's going on now? When you are usually the calmest person, you don't know why, because there haven't been any triggers. The trigger's the person in front of you. Because that's your situation that you feel the sorrow, you feel the pain, and this pressure, like drained, burned out, there's nothing left. I really feel the energy lost with my loved one. And as I said, I also have some physical limitations with one or the other, that he's just really unwell health-wise, because he's really not doing well. And that's really true. It's really true that he's in this phase. I know it sounds harsh right now, but after this realization, when I look at it like that, that's right. So that he can actually get to this point. And at this point, he also wakes up, because here I can already see the change, because the thoughts keep coming back, the things he's afraid of. That's actually a thought that scares him. Change. I have to change something. I can't take it anymore. I don't want to anymore. And now we are at a very, very, very important point. And that is the connection, because that's what he is missing. I found him, as I said, lonely with no attachment. There is nothing there, because he also has this area that he repeatedly didn't want to see and didn't need, that he has convinced himself. He talks himself into things a lot anyway. Or has he been doing that time? He has let himself be convinced, let himself be manipulated. No matter, as I said, whether it's other people or relationships, great, man, whatever. And what he has always let himself be convinced of, what he didn't want to see, that's what he is realizing now. That is now opening his eyes, that he is missing that. The attachment also being accepted sometimes. Also being allowed to be soft sometimes properly. Not always, hey, I'm doing well, no, everything's fine, yeah, I'll do it. And that's the point, because he can't do it anymore. And now it is like this. That is what he is missing. And I really have that with him in your direction. There I have this, right, this heartache. And I also have the longing, very pronounced, the longing, the closeness, the connection. Because you radiate warmth, kindness, and security. And that's what we saw at the beginning. Now we see it here again. You radiate it. And there is a very strong attraction, always, always back to you. Always the connection. Because, yes, what we have here with that, where is it? There with the heart. We also have a very intense, strong heart connection between the two of you. And he is finally feeling his heart very intensely now. And he is getting more and more into it. It starts off slowly, but it keeps getting bigger, the heart touch. And then comes the heartache, the longing, the sorrow, because it hurts him, because he is suffering. And you're telling yourself now, okay, then let it be like it is for me. I've been suffering whole time. And it could also be that you have distanced yourself from him or her. I also think that's very good after this arrangement, right? When you did it, absolutely. Because that's it. You have withdrawn your energy from him. And that withdrawal that was there has brought him to wake up, because you took your energy away from him. You took the warmth from him. He always relied on that. Because you are here, everything is fine, back and forth. So that's absolutely great. And now, of course, we are at the question, is this all coming to an end? Some of you might have already seen this. I'm telling you here that there's a cut. It's as certain as the amen in church after this collective statement. I definitely have the cut here, the break, and that will happen quickly. So really quickly, maybe it's a word or a call or something that the other person outside says. It blows the kettle for him. It's really, there's fireworks, it's a load of crap. The king, because there is really a high risk of explosion. I think that's good too, because it's going to explode. Because I really have him there, when you say he's totally calm or something like that, well, here I have something completely different going on. There's nothing calm about this. Because I have the change radically. I have completely cut here without really now, also very radically, without regard for losses. He's going to make a cut here. Because I also have the domestic change. So if he's, for example, living with someone or with family or anywhere, no matter where, I also have the move here that he's leaving. He packs his things up and bam, he's gone. Or that she kicks someone out. Ending situation. But I actually have it more that he or she is leaving. But we know collectively, I keep repeating myself over and over again. But the decision is that he will no longer let others decide for him, but he or she will decide for themselves. Make the decision, and the decision has already been made. It's really that certain, because he's getting out of there. He wants to close the whole thing. He will deal with the past, with all of it. Close. Everything that has still held him back. In the past, the behavior patterns, entanglements, obligations, he'll be completely in it. He won't think about it properly anymore. And it's also very good that he doesn't think about it. From this course of reaction, he also makes this cut here. And it stays that way. Because, sure, you might say now, yeah, well, course of reaction, if he makes a cut, then he might regret it. Huh? No. From this layout, I don't have lying around, because I was surprised by him. Here it is, really this completely sudden surprise. Phew, I'm doing well. I'm so relieved. Where he actually gets startled by himself, where he gets shocked by himself, like that, because that relief he feels, And that does him good. Because he knows you are in his heart. He or she knows that. And that's what he's missing. He knows that with you, he can have consistency, stability. He can have it all with you. And he didn't want to see that. He didn't see it, couldn't see it. Because time. And again, this monster corporation has clung to him in his environment. Always those whole tentacles all twisted around him, pulling him away again and again. Guardian struggle. A cut follows. And there he can barely breathe, the way I have him lying here. So as I said, after this layout, there will be a cut. Here, there will be an end. Now we have the snake. Here, there will be an end. Yes, now we have the snake. Let's see if we have the time, because then I'll go back in again. We have the snake. So, entanglements. We have entanglements with other people. Obligations again and again. Here's a rival, a relationship with someone else. So when it comes to another person, it's a complicated path for him, but he will take this path. And there are also his thoughts. When I look at his thoughts, take a look. So they're not that loving. Or I say loving. Or that I say, okay, something warm, understanding. No, they're going more in a different direction here, but I don't want to elaborate on that any further. Which direction? Yes. But it has nothing to do with you. Very, very, very important. Nothing to do with you. Absolutely not. But definitely this will be ended. Sure. And yes, as I said, a bit of unrest is definitely being shown here. A few entanglements, a little bit of delay, a bit of back and forth. But don't be scared. We're going to dive back into time again. I would say we're in the collective as well. As far as time is concerned, the tendencies and so on. And it's like this. We also have the book with us now. And the book also shows here, this is a secret, is really being revealed here. And even though it's not quite that late yet, it's highly ripe. A chapter is definitely closing, and that is in the secret. What you're missing, he or she keeps it a secret from you. That's because he has his own plan. As I said, his thoughts, it doesn't go according to his plan as he actually wanted it to. Because as I said, we have a quick reaction here. I totally agree, because then the kettle boils over. So everything is exploding here. A big explosion. I'll say that now. And even if he still somewhat shuts himself off there, not a problem. From you, that's what you definitely don't receive from him or her in the background. I always say every card reading is a glimpse behind the scenes. Because we see what's going on inside that person. You don't see that outside. Everything that's going on behind the scenes, especially what's happening inside him, what's going on there. And I also want to touch on Thursday again, the one we have from the Times. And on Thursday, something is happening again. As I said, there's movement on Thursday, Friday, leading into the weekend. Maybe something here will trigger it for you. What brings the kettle to a boil, everything overflowing and so on. Well, something is really happening there. Will be what ends. That's for sure. And we have the tree. It's about stability because he or she wants stability. Definitely because that's what he lacks. Because there's no support. There's nothing left at all. He's actually lost. He doesn't really know where to go. He swims like the open sea. And as I said, something is happening. It could also be that you notice it maybe over the weekend or something like Thursday, Friday. That could very well be. But maybe in the coming days, if you notice something, you might remember the reading. Hey, wasn't it mentioned on Thursday or Friday? That's right. Yes, it has happened. So I'm saying here, this is really, really fast. So from the tendency, I would say here about 1 to 3, let's say days, weeks, up to months approximately. When I look at the whole thing, okay. So dear ones, I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for watching. And I wish you all a wonderfully beautiful rest of the day. Bye.